This is my smothered chicken. Enjoy, guys. So we've added about 2 tablespoons of olive oil to our pot. I'm adding a teaspoon and a half of minced garlic. I'm adding half a teaspoon of crushed rosemary. We're gonna let the garlic, rosemary, and olive oil simmer for about a minute and a half. Get all that flavor infused into the oil. It's been about a minute and a half. Now we're gonna add 8 boneless, skinless chicken thighs to the pot. As soon as you add the chicken thighs to the pot, grab your Cajun Seasoning. I'm using my own blend that I mix myself, but if you're at home, you can get Tony Sacheries, a little bit of smoked paprika, a little bit of black pepper, that kick it up a notch, a little cayenne. That'd be a good mix, but season it heavily. So I'm using, for the 8 chicken thighs, probably 2 tablespoons of seasoning. Once you add your seasoning, we're gonna give it a good mix, and we're gonna let this simmer down and brown a little bit. So this is what your chicken should look like once you brown it. A nice sear. Literally, if I cook this for 5 more minutes in this pot, you'd have a really delicious piece of chicken. But that's not what we're doing this on. We're now gonna add about 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. While that's still sizzling away, we're gonna add a tablespoon of the chili garlic sauce. And pick your favorite hot sauce. Right now, this is mine. I have Louisiana, would be my good go-to backup if I couldn't find anything interesting or flavor profile-wise that I like. But this is the ghost pepper wing sauce. That tastes nothing like a wing sauce, but it's very garlicky and quite spicy. So we're not gonna put a lot in, but it adds a little something that you can't put your finger on that is great. A half a stick of butter. So I still have my heat on high. We just added the stick of butter, all the other seasonings we put in. We're gonna give this a nice little stir around. We wanna make sure all the chicken is well coated, and that flavor, that spice that we just added is gonna bind to that meat. Once we reduce that sauce base that was in that pot down halfway, which will make it nice and thick, kind of like a thin maple syrup consistency, we're gonna add 2 cups of water, 6 ounces of chicken stock, 1 pack of brown gravy mix. Now we're gonna bring this back up to a boil, stir everything together really well, make sure all those clumps are out, and we're gonna put it back on low and put the cover on. And we're gonna let that sit for 2 hours, and dinner's done. Now, we're trying to do that low carb kind of thing, so we're gonna just put this on top of cauliflower rice. But for the kids, they want either macaroni and cheese or mashed potatoes or regular rice, and put that on top of there. And you're gonna have plenty enough gravy to add to it to where it's a combination of a gumbo or a freaking soup. I don't know. It's how I've always made it. Now, if I was making this myself, I would have mushrooms, I would have onions, I'd have all kinds of stuff in here. So please add it. You're gonna do nothing but make it better. But this base by itself is freaking amazing. That's it. I'll show you what we have when it's done. All right, guys, this is what we got. About hour 45 minutes in. If you let this reduce down more, you'll actually have a relatively thick kind of gravy consistency, but this is what the kids like, and it mixes really well with the rice. So we're gonna dish this up for them and show you what we have, but all the chicken is completely fall apart and tender, and this smells absolutely amazing.